What's up, friends? Welcome into a new week of Rock Chalk Sports here on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com with Elijah Schmidt, assisted by Tyler Brewer and Trey Myers and Dan Courtwright. I am Sean Kellerman. Thanks for joining us for another week here as we are in the off season, of course, for all the big stuff that's going to be here before we know it, but a lot of good going on right now in the world of sports. Really exciting regarding the World Cup, as on Saturday night, Algeria, they punched their ticket to the round of 32.
3. Viva l'Algérie.
Okay, you were there.
I was.
You were there. I want to hear about that.
I was there in person.
Yeah, pretty electric atmosphere.
It was incredible. Oh, my gosh.
One word.
One word. Yeah, electric.
Electric. All right,
so good.
Choice. Yeah, we're going to talk World Cup. A little cup check for you here at some point. But no, excited to be on air with you guys and have another fun week here on Rock Chalk Sports. Going to talk about Dan's experience over at Arrowhead. We felt good about USA's chances, of course, as soon as they went out and destroyed Paraguay in their first game in group play, and then they picked up a nice win as well, game 2, and that clinched it to where they didn't have to beat Turkey, and they didn't last week. Ended up losing 3-2, but didn't matter. They still got to the round of 32. And then the cherry on top was Algeria also getting to the round of 32, despite losing their first match to Argentina. It was a little shaky when Algeria took on Jordan and got down 1-0, but Algeria got 2 goals to get a much-needed win in their second game of group play, and then, of course, the draw on Saturday that you'll discuss. Really, really exciting and incredible support from Kansas City, particularly the Lawrence community. You've probably seen all over our socials on Kansas Nation, the cool signs, the atmosphere, just the love between an unlikely pair of Lawrence, Kansas, and the country of Algeria. Going to bring on Nick Springer from the Kansas City Sports Network to talk a little World Cup, some Darryn Peterson stuff, and some Kansas football news as well. Nick joins us in studio every Monday. Talk a little Darryn Peterson after Nick comes in and gives his take, as, of course, that happened last week. I wasn't able to be here and give my take on that, but really exciting for DP being the highest drafted Jayhawk since Andrew Wiggins back in 2014. And Wiggins, of course, won Rookie of the Year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So hopefully a similar first season for DP. Case of the Mondays, Dan, after that, what do we got?
Yeah, case of the Mondays, you're in there. Nick Lofton is in there. San Francisco retirement homes also in there as well. Some news surrounding the NBA. Brendan Sorsby just continues to find his way back on these lists. Even the Canadians don't want him. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff. And then I have a really interesting story about a Goodwill find of the century that I wanted to talk about in Case of the Mondays. I'll get to it. If you've seen it, you probably know what it is. But a wild story regarding a KU legend, Will Chamberlain.
I like it. Yeah, Nick Lofton, he's probably struggling more than anybody.
Yeah.
The Royals in general, I mean, it's Case of the Mondays for me. You said I'm on here for some other reason, but my buddy Jaron is a big White Sox fan. And it's been so funny these past couple seasons because 2 years ago, they were the worst team in the history of Major League Baseball.
Right.
And the Royals have been cleaning their clock pretty consistently the past few seasons, but they go out and lose 22-1.
Yeah.
They lose 22-1 on Friday. Tyler Tolbert fires a scoreless 8th inning, and that was the first scoreless inning for the Royals since the second. 22-1. And then they lose on a walk-off 2-1 on Saturday. They did win yesterday, so there's that. But Nick Lofton, sort of a microcosm of the Royals season. Daniel Lynch giving him a fastball, I guess we'll say that. And they're on the same team, so stay tuned for that. Kansas football positional group breakdown. Dan, I know you covered some other spots on the offense and certainly the defense as well. So let's talk about specialists.
Yeah, covered everything on the defense last week. Did some offensive positions last week as well. So we did everything in terms of the offense and defense. But, yeah, we got to talk about special teams, man, because special teams – again, I'm a big special teams advocate.
Of course.
Because it is just as important as everything else, because so often you see games where you lose by 2 points or 1 point or 3 point or whatever it is, or, field position is such a massive thing. And Kansas, they have a whole new list of guys who are here with their punters, with their kickers, long snappers, and then there's going to be obviously some, second, third string guys who are going to be on the special teams as well. Talk a little bit about the returners too, and kind of who we think is going to be back there. We have somewhat of an idea, but we're not entirely sure exactly who's been solidified as those returners as well. But yeah, I think there's a lot of good to be, kind of optimistic about in terms of this Kansas special teams.
Absolutely. So a lot to get to here. It's good to be back. Of course, I was up north
That's
of the
right.
border
Yeah.
last week.
Before we talk Algeria, might push this to the next segment, a little pushback. But tell me about you. You spent an entire week up in the Great White North,
yes,
as they like to call it. Tell me, you went up there with your dad for a fishing trip? Is that
yes,
right?
yes. So I hadn't been in a while, but we go to. I actually brought a towel in my backpack today. There's like a towel representing Holly's Camps, which is the name of the lodge that we go to. Shout out to Holly's Camps. Maybe I'll display it at some
Holly?
point. It is the family that runs it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's last name Holly,
Sure.
not first name. Yes, not just one lady named Holly running it. But yeah,
I get you.
No, it's great. We drove up. It's a drive. Felt shorter than the trip to Houston.
That can't
because
be.
we didn't
That's
have
not
to
true.
veer out of way a million times to go to Buc-ee's and then
Why
in
would
and out.
you got a problem with Buc-ee's?
This is a regimented trip
Right.
that my dad goes on every year, and fortunately this year we were able to make it happen to where two of my brothers, Kevin and Andrew, were able to go up with me, and then a cousin and an uncle as well. So there were 6 of us going up there. We got in my brother's truck, and then we had a 4Runner, so kind of caravanned up there with 3 in each car. But we, on Monday, made the big trip, woke up at 4 a.m. Monday and drove all the way up. One of the weird traditions we have that is awesome and something everybody looks forward to, because this is a very much tradition trip. It started with like my grandfather, and so we do everything that they did back then.
Generations of Kellermans have been going up to Canada for years.
Pretty much. So the lunch on the way up is at a rest stop in Minnesota. It's funny because when you first drive up there, you are like, oh man, I'm flying through. Like, I'm already through Iowa. And then you get to Minnesota, and that is a long damn state. But we get to Minnesota, it's like, oh my God. And it's not exactly a straight shot either.
Yeah.
So we get to Minnesota, and we have fried chicken for lunch that my mom had fried the night prior. And she's been doing that every year. Some fried chicken, some bread and butter. I mean, so good.
That's good,
and
man.
then, a couple beers, couple grape sodas, whatever floats your boat. But then we got up to the motel. We stayed the first night at this motel, and after crossing the border. And when you cross the border, you got to answer all the right questions. So they'll say, hey, how much booze are you bringing? Are you bringing any tobacco? What are you doing up here? All that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And then it's funny because then when we come back, it's like a 2-second process of like, were you guys coming back? It's like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
All right, come on in. You can vacate our country.
Right.
But
get the hell out.
Yeah. So anyway, and then we stayed the first night, and the first night's always fun. The first night of vacation, atmosphere. But it was cool because in the motel we could watch the Algeria-Jordan game.
Oh, that's
awesome. And I was trying to fill my brothers, and they live in the Kansas City area, but I'm trying to fill them in on how the relationship of Lawrence and Algeria has grown to be what it is. So I was like bummed when Jordan scored, and then it was exciting, of course, when Algeria came back and won. But the next morning we fly out. They pick us up, and we fly on one of these tiny little airplanes, which is
like a little crop duster kind of thing.
Oh, just tiny,
That's awesome.
6-seater. So they load up all of our baggage and all of our beer and everything, and they fly us to one of those water airplanes. They fly us to the lodge, and then we've got
That's so cool.
We fish in the afternoon, and then we have 4 days, full days of fishing. You fish 8 to 5 every day. You stop at noon. So we had 3 boats, 2 guys on each boat. You stop on
2 guys.
2 guys, 1 guide.
Yeah.
On each boat, and you stop on a different shore because it's actually a river that we're on, but they have the camp has these designated spots that are shore launch spots, and you meet up with everybody at noon each day, and it's fun because then the 6 of you are all together compared to fishing with just one guy.
Are there more groups with you too? Or is it just you guys?
It's just us 90% of the time.
That's cool.
One day there was a 2-top with us who I don't really know why, but they ended up joining us for shore launch. But the guides are amazing, and it's so cool because you learn about these people from Canada, and the guides that we had were from this town called Old Fort Bay, Canada, population 256.
Good town name, too.
Yeah, Old Fort Bay. It is like the easternmost part of Canada, like on the Atlantic Ocean. So Canada's big.
Sure.
And, it's got all the...
But you're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
right?
we're in Ontario.
Sure.
So we just go through Minnesota. We're in Ontario, which is pretty much, the middle.
Yeah.
Middle south, whatever. But
Old Fort Bay.
Old Fort Bay. So I was like so intrigued by this because I'm like, there's 250 people, and 4 people here are from this town.
Right.
So I've met a good amount of the population.
Yeah.
But it's just it's fun learning. And my wife has rubbed off on me a little bit because she is a Spanish teacher and she's gone to a lot of Spanish-speaking countries and third world countries, and you learn more about other cultures and traditions and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And for me, that's kind of what Canada's turned into because I love
traditions of hockey and beer drinking.
pretty much, yeah, and being cold. But they these guys who were about our age, two of our guides, one's 31 and one's 28,
Sure.
and
so they're about my age, not your age, because you're
right.
Yeah.
You're a little tyke. They were talking about how they weren't big sports fans or anything. So like we weren't because you look and it's like their way of life is, I think that there's one school in their town.
Sure.
But it's like fishing. I mean, they're literally on the ocean. There's nothing else going on there.
Sure.
Like they grew up and.
They don't even watch hockey or curling or anything.
I don't know.
They're just fishing all day.
They're just fishing, and 250 people kind of away from everything is crazy. And it takes them. If you look on a map, I googled this as well. From far east Canada where they were to where we were fishing, it's like 1,000 miles as the crow flies.
Oh my gosh!
But to drive there because of how small the town is and the different routes, it's like 3,000 miles to the route they have to take. So that's New York to LA.
That's ridiculous.
And these guys are just there working from May to September at this camp. And
Sure.
they're busting their ass the entire time at the camp because they're working, they're getting up at 7, they're getting the bait for us and setting up the boat and all that. And then they're, I'll get back to the shore
so
lunch.
They drive?
One time he did. He said he'd fly. He said this time he
I was about to say,
fly,
that's be an insane. Okay,
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's wild.
But it was interesting because they were our guides, and then the 2 housekeepers who were at the lodge serving us our breakfast and dinner and cleaning up, and then they would like go to the cabins and make all the beds and stuff. They were their 2 girlfriends, and it was crazy because they grew up. It's like you and Josh and Brian thinking about like growing up. Your elementary school friends. One of them had been there 4 years, and the other one, who knew that dude for his whole life, just got up there 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow!
Because
nice.
he brought his girlfriend 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
Because they were at some other lodge and didn't like it, and so it was kind of fun. It's like the population of this tiny town of Canada.
Right.
So that's part of the experience.
Like a quarter of the population. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but it's the. The shore lunches are awesome because then you catch up with everybody who's at different parts of the lake on their boats, and what'd you catch? What were you using to catch them? I had this monster and lost him at the boat. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But shore lunch is incredible. We're getting walleye every day. We have walleye that they fry, and then it's so good.
They fry it for you,
and then oh my god, dude! The process is crazy. Then they've got potatoes and onions and beans, and then they've got cookies and all that. But they pack everything. Part of what the guides do before we get on the boat is they pack everything into the tubs to prepare for shore lunch. So you've got one of the guides filleting all the fish each day.
Sure.
And the other 2 are chopping up the potatoes and onions, and then the other guy is preparing the table. Maybe he's chopping the wood to start the fire. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's crazy. So 4 straight days of that lunch. So you put on some weight.
Sure.
It's fried walleye and then the potatoes and onions. Incredible. It's like a 10 out of 10 every single time I've had it.
Imagine
I've been 5 or 6 times. It's incredible.
I was say, imagine being these guys and eating that for lunch just every single day.
So they started. A couple of them brought sandwiches.
Okay, yeah, they were just at some point they're just sick of fish. Right.
Yeah. They're just like not even sick of fish. Just like I'm gonna die if I keep eating this every day.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I mean, they have these huge jugs of oil that they fry. I mean, it's cool.
Awesome.
You can do it for 4 days and still be alive after.
Sure. After a while, you're up there pushing like 350 pounds. Just like, oh god, that's clogging your arteries. I'm sure. How many rough estimate? How many fish did you catch
over the 4.5 days? So the fishing maybe wasn't as successful as it's been in the past because the weather was like sunny and then a little bit rainy, and it just, I don't know. But I mean, I probably still caught over 4.5 days, maybe not 100, but close.
Oh my God, that's a way bigger number than I thought.
Absolutely.
You would say.
So people will, dude. So people will people will get greedy. People being me. And
I think you were
going
going to say like 20.
Oh, hell no. No, you
That's wild.
have 9 sessions, so 4.5 days, 9 sessions of fishing. I mean, I didn't have a session where I caught fewer than, 4 fish, and I had some where I caught 15.
That's wild.
But yeah, you catch them, and if the walleye are the right size, you save them, and that's what you eat for lunch.
Sure.
And they put them in their little boat thing, and
Man.
But then you want to try to get a trophy, and 4 of the 6 guys got a trophy. I did not get a trophy, which I was bummed on. 18-inch smallmouth bass, or a 27-inch walleye, or a 38-inch northern. Sure. I got some good photos. Maybe I'll throw them on the video stream at some point this week. But my dad got a couple trophies, and
nice.
one of my brothers got a trophy walleye. And the other 2 got one too. But it's awesome. Then you go out in the afternoon, and usually the afternoon's more about trying to catch the big fella.
Sure.
But it's fun. You're casting and
like the Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want your trophy.
So good. And you try all your lures and stuff. Then you go back and that shower hits different.
Oh, I'm sure.
Dude, I mean, you've got minnow guts all over you. You've been touching fish all day.
Was it hot?
Sometimes it was weird weather. It was because it was supposed to be like 75 and sunny the whole time, but it was sunny in the morning, and then we got a decent amount of rain, which sometimes is nice if it's just sprinkling on you.
I bet it's not humid though.
Yeah, no.
That's nice. Yeah. Probably feels like a little like Colorado where it's like kind of a dry heat.
For sure. But my dad's done it a million times. Like, we're all prepared. We got waterproof shoes, and you got your rain jacket and rain pants. So you're not miserable by any stretch because you're prepared and it's just raining. But then when you get back to the cabin, it's like, oh my God, like this shower is gonna feel awesome. You just smell like fish and beer and smoke, and it's crazy. But yeah, it's like every morning at 7 a.m. the bell rings for breakfast. 6 p.m. the bell rings for dinner. So I like the 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, because you get back off the boat 5 o'clock. You have like a little cocktail hour, and you talk about how the guides did. You talk about stories. Sure. Like, my mom had this pillow that I remember. She does cross stitch, and she had this pillow that always comes to mind, which is early to bed, early to rise, fish all day, make up lies. Because that's what you do. Because you're telling some BS story of, I had this monster on,
At the end of the day, you catch fish this big. At the end of the day, you're out to here.
Yeah. So no, it's great.
Classic.
But it's fun, and then you go have dinner, and then from 6 to 8, my brothers have little kids like I do, and from 6 to 8, it's a lot of like digesting your dinner. Maybe hydrating a little bit, FaceTiming your family over here.
Sure,
people are showering. And then at 8, we play poker with like nickels, dimes, and quarters.
That's awesome, man.
With some different, like, we got 8 or 10 different poker games we play that are so fun. So no, it's a blast. And then yesterday's all about getting on the little plane early in the morning after breakfast.
Sure.
Flying back to your car, and then just busting it.
What time did you get back last night?
Last night, I got back. I pulled into my driveway at like 11:55, and I probably was asleep by 1:30.
Oh, man.
So,
yeah. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
How long is the drive?
So it's about, we got in our car at about 8:30, and then drove to Kansas City, and we were in Kansas City by 11. So that's 14 and a half.
Okay.
It took about 15 on the way up, because you have some longer.
Sure, because you didn't stop at Buc-ee's anywhere.
Didn't veer off to Buc-ee's. Didn't veer off to.
So that's about what it was to Conroe, Texas.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's so fun though, because Conroe, like, we didn't know what we were doing.
No,
because we were like, where's it? Trying to get to a Buc-ee's or whatever.
Yeah.
But this Canadian trip is like, this is where we stop every time.
You've been on this trip, dozens of times.
Yeah. But no, they treat us great. Kettle Falls Lodge, like I said, by Holly's Camps, and you're going to catch fish, so you're having a blast. And I got to fish a day with my dad and with each of my brothers, and we argued over what's an appropriate amount of beer.
Ooh.
Because I want your thoughts on this.
Okay.
So, and this is important, because you can only take, I don't want to say you can only take so much beer, but if you take too much beer, you want to take your own beer because it costs a lot to buy it at the lodge.
Sure, makes sense.
You don't necessarily want to bring any back, right? Because you want to, take an appropriate amount. You don't want to have to fly back beer on those little planes.
Right.
But that's the thing, is you don't want to be over the weight room. Over the weight limit on the little plane is the concern, which is why you're not like, let's just take however much we want, because then they charge you if you're over the weight limit. But you're on a boat from 8 to 5. Plus you have lunch in there for about an hour and a half.
Okay. Are you drinking during lunch?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. That's like probably maybe one of the bulk days.
Sure.
But 8 to noon, if you're fishing, what do you think is an appropriate amount of beer for you to drink from 8 to noon? So it's morning time.
Yeah.
So you're warming up just a little bit.
I say 6.5.
That's pretty good.
Is that a good number?
In the morning? I mean, that's pretty high.
You think so?
Only because...
Oh, maybe I have a problem.
I think... only because you can't take all the beer that you want.
Right.
And you know you're going to drink with everybody at lunch.
Sure,
and then afternoon, So here's how I look at it. Thinking, if you try, you can only have, you can only have 2 or 3 beers in the morning. Like 2 or 3 beers in the morning, it is what it is. Because you're fishing and you're like, all right, I should probably have a water before the beer starts, whatever.
Sure.
At lunch.
Well, and also it's a marathon, not a race. So
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You're easing into it. So maybe 6.5 you probably like 4 maybe.
So 2 or 3 I think is a semi-appropriate.
Also depends
it depends
on
who you're
it
with too.
Well, yeah, sure.
Like if it's one of my brothers and me, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 in the morning. You get to lunch and it's an hour and a half. You're just standing around talking. I mean, you're gonna have at least 3 there.
Yeah, of course.
So we'll say 3 in the morning and then 3 at lunch. So then you're at 6. Okay, and this is before you've even started drinking. So you put down 6 beers. You put down 6 beers.
6 beers before you
even started drinking.
Right.
So then you get to the afternoon and you're on a boat from 1:30 to 5. Yeah. I mean, then you're getting really close to drinking time.
Sure.
So it depends who you're with, but you're not having fewer than 4 in the afternoon.
Sure.
So then you're at 10. So then it's like, okay, well, I mean, 10 beers on a boat, but that's like having to be cognizant of how much that you're drinking because you only brought so much.
So how many beers did you bring?
We took
for for a day. How many beers did you bring?
Total as a group?
No, just you.
So it depends. I think when I was with Kevin, I drank 10 on the boat. I think when I was with Andrew, I drank 11 on the boat.
Sure.
Because again, it's a marathon. You got 8 to 5. But you do have to at 5 o'clock kind of transition away from beer because
and go to liquor.
Yes.
Oh God.
Exactly.
I was kidding.
Because no. I mean, you can mix in a soda and a water, but for poker you can't really have beer because then you get back at 5. If you keep drinking beer, then all your beer is going to be gone, and you need the beer for the boat.
Sure. I see what you're saying.
So if you could take however much beer you wanted, then it'd be fine. But it's like you kind of need to prioritize the boat for the beer.
Right.
So, which is fine. So like we had, people dabbled with gin or scotch or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Like when we had like a meeting before we went and all that. And I'm thinking just like I'm thinking now. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, 10 beers a guy a day on a boat is not ridiculous because you're having 3 at lunch.
Sure.
You're having at least 2 in the morning just because you're fishing on a boat.
Was your dad having like 10 too?
No, Dad's not a huge beer guy, but he probably had 3.
He's a scotch guy, right?
Yeah, he probably had 3 on the boat. He likes a nice cold beer on a boat.
Sure. Who doesn't?
But like Andrew, Kevin, my brothers and I mean, we just shag beers. And that's the thing is once you you're not gonna open a beer and then go to a water right after that. Like, because you know what happens after you open a beer? You know what you're gonna open after that?
Another beer.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why the mornings go a little bit slower. Cause it's like, all right, let's hydrate. We care about our liver.
Of course.
Obviously. Yeah. Let's get maybe some caffeine, a couple waters in us.
See, that's crazy that you went from beer all day to liquor at night. I mean, the old adage is beer before liquor. Never been sicker.
Trust me, it's a smooth transition.
Okay.
See, that's the thing about being a veteran.
Sure.
Is you got a way of doing it. So, but yeah, I mean, you you get back and maybe before you make a cocktail, you have a water and hydrate and all that. But you're also eating an ungodly amount of food.
Right.
So that's a factor too.
Well, the fried food probably soaks it up a little bit
Absolutely.
too. So
Absolutely. So
I'll buy that.
Yeah. So, but it's nice because the lodge, they take care of us for the breakfast and the dinner, which were very healthy, by the way. Eggs, and we had vegetables at pretty much every meal. But the lunches, man, just so hard to beat. The fried fish and then Frank's Red Hot and
It sounds great.
One day they made onion rings for us.
Man, yeah.
So good.
That's awesome.
So,
it's like a Lon John Silver's almost.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Pretty much the exact same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had fun, man.
Yeah,
It sounds like a blast.
Was it fun on the show last week?
Yeah, I had a blast on the show last week, man. I mean, a lot of stuff to talk about. Darryn got drafted. Well, I want to get your thoughts on DP going to the Jazz, but this sounds like you had a great time.
For sure. Yeah. No, appreciate you and Elijah and everybody holding it down here, and I know that we both. Are
you excited to be back to reality?
Of course. Yeah. No, I will obviously really miss my girls. So
sure. Well, that makes sense.
So got to see them a little bit this morning, and we'll get to play a lot this week. So
this is a good question for a guy without kids, for a guy with kids.
Yes.
When you come back from a trip like that, do you wake them up?
That's a very good question. Very good question. I opted not to because Ava likes her sleep a lot.
Makes sense.
But I did think about going in there, but I'm like, I'm not gonna. But I did talk about the trip for like an hour with Caitlin when I got back, just because I had so much to tell her.
Sure.
And I was so excited. And she. So we were up late talking. That's part of why I didn't go to bed probably as appropriately early as I could. But
that makes sense.
But no, got a good hug from Ava this morning, and saw Claire too. So
nice.
But it's hard. I mean, it's hard leaving the girls. But it's one of those things where I'm so glad I did it, and I'll be going again, as soon as I can, hopefully in the next couple of years, because it's so fun. Like the memories you make, like all the fishing, and we joke about the beer drinking and all that, but it's like great memories made from being on the boat with your brother,
sure,
and whether you're catching fish or not, you're talking about life and. Like I said, then you get a ton of inside jokes of everything, right. Throughout the trip, and somebody gets screwed in poker, and it's hilarious, and everybody's laughing. So all sorts of great memories on that front. But we'll enjoy this. The off season, of course, for us here with the KU centric everything, and I know I've got a trip to the Lake of the Ozarks the end of next month, and you've got your trip to London in the fall. So
I'm actually going to the Ozarks this weekend too.
Are you?
You're going to be potentially
on
Friday,
holding it down.
Holding it down on Friday. Bit. I'll be here until Thursday.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see. We don't quite know yet what the plan is for Rock Chalk Sports on Friday. So stay tuned. Of course, 4th of July falls on a Saturday, but Friday oftentimes is seen as a holiday. So we'll keep you up to date on that, but we'll be on air as normal, both of us here through Thursday, and a lot to get to. You'll see some familiar faces as well, including Nick Springer, who's coming on a little bit later. But I do want to hear your experience at Arrowhead on Saturday. I've never been to a World Cup game, and of course, the atmosphere from everything I saw looked amazing. So, going to talk about that next and do a little cup check here on Rock Chalk Sports. That's coming up next here. Appreciate everybody tuning in on ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
I'm Keith Langford, and you're watching Kansas.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Hoping to find a hot deal on a new side-by-side? Can-Am is offering fresh deals for summer. Save up to $1,500 on 2026 Can-Am Defender models at Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. The Defender is a versatile side-by-side utility vehicle that's built to work hard and play hard. And Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment will give you their best deal with up to $1,500 off. Offer ends June 30th. For complete details and a great deal on a great new ride, see Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
Crown Automotive, our founding partners here at Kansas Nation. Give them a visit on South Iowa in Lawrence. Miles Schneer and his team, some of the best service and sales staff in the game. They can get you in the vehicle that you need. Great selection of new and used vehicles over at Crown. And if you're not local, crownautomotive.com is the place to be. Cup check. USA and Algeria both on to the round of 32. Round of 32 first game was yesterday, and indeed it was Canada picking up the victory. So they are the first team to advance to the round of 16. USA got it done despite losing to Turkey at the end of last week, and they will take on Bosnia and Herzegovina Wednesday at 7 p.m. Excited for that. But Dan, Algeria, that's been kind of close to our heart here. We've got the flag. We've got all the pomp and circumstance around Lawrence.
Yeah.
You were there on Saturday, and Algeria was able to get a draw against Austria. Kind of take us through that whole experience of what it was like, because we've seen it, but in person, I bet it was pretty special.
It was amazing. Like, it was. It might have been the best sporting event I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
Like, it was that incredible with the Algerian fans, and everybody that I met was so incredibly friendly. Like, I met a guy from England, I met a guy from Tunisia who just hung around because obviously Netherlands played against Tunisia on the Thursday, and he just was like, screw it, I love Kansas City so much, I'm sticking around. So he stayed for the Austria game. And so there were so many people around, and I wore a Rock Chalk Algeria shirt. My dad actually got us a Rock Chalk Algeria shirt. So the reason I went to this game is because me and my sister went in and bought 2 World Cup tickets for my father, and my dad wound up taking me, so I kind of made out like a bandit while my sister got stuck with the bill, kind of. But so that's the reason we went. We were up in like section 329 or something like that. Like, we were way up. But also, when you're watching soccer, it's almost better, right? Like, I kind of didn't want to be farther down. Like, we were up, but the field is so big, and the passes are so long that it's a better vantage point. And so it was so much fun. I have a couple of stories from this, and maybe this is a hot take. I'm glad that there wasn't any tailgating, because of the fact that when you get in, the whole lot out in front of Arrowhead was packed to the gills with people. They had beer stands and Coca-Cola stands, and they had fun different things, like different bars you can go to, and they had the Michelob Ultra like player trophy, player of the game thing out there. You could go and take a picture with it. They had merchandise, and they had like a DJ out there. Again, maybe a hot take. If they were able to tailgate, like, you wouldn't have been able to do that. And I love the fact that they were like, hey, no. And I understand, like, obviously they were selling the stuff too, so like, you couldn't bring your own beers in or whatever. But it was so much fun. And like I said, everybody was so kind. Like, every Algerian fan that I met was so kind. And like, I had a couple people like thank me for, because I was wearing a Rock Chalk Algeria, and I had a KU hat on too. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, Lawrence has been so incredible, and all this different kind of stuff. I do have one story, and this is going to bleed into the other story. So I went to Power and Light on Thursday to go help out with content for Sports Radio 810 WHB. And while I was there, I went to go grab dinner. While I was there, I went to this Hooli House place, got some fish and chips. And I was sitting next to a guy, and this guy was wearing all like FIFA stuff, no like team affiliated anything. And I was just sitting there chatting with him, and I brought it up. I said, hey, so what do you do? He's about my age, maybe like between you and me. He said, actually, I'm unemployed right now because I just quit my job about 3 weeks ago. I was the director of transportation for FIFA.
Oh, my God.
I was like, oh, okay, interesting. He said, yeah. He said he took the job back in April, and he said when he took the job, They welcomed him in. They brought him into the office, and he was the director of transportation for like the Kansas City area. I don't know if people want me to tell this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I don't care. Like I don't care if FIFA officials come after me. I doubt they will. This guy said, yeah, he comes in April, and they say, hey, nice to meet you. We're way behind, and you need to fix everything. And like he was telling me how they didn't have permits to have the parking lots for like Oak Park Mall and like Graceway Church and all these different places. Like they didn't have essentially permission to have their shuttles take these people to the stadium, even though they had already announced that they were having shuttles taking people. And so he said the whole thing was a disaster. You know, this is his first real job that he's like had to do something like this. He said it was so bad and so stressful. He was working like 15 hours a day that he just had to quit. Like 3 days before the World Cup started.
Oh, God.
And so they had somebody doing this job, and then they wound up quitting 3 days beforehand. And this guy was like, he looked like he was still stressed out about it. Even though he's been unemployed for the last 3 weeks or whatever. He said he still looked like he was incredibly stressed out just from doing that job. So they didn't have anybody. And I'll tell you this right now, it was kind of a pain to get back onto the buses. Now, getting on the buses to go to the stadium, relatively seamless. We parked at the Graceway Church. There was people, telling us where to go, and so we just walked all the way around and just immediately got on a bus, got to the stadium around 6:30, right? So we had about 2.5 hours to kind of bounce around, hit a bunch of different, of the beer carts and meet some different people, and there was a lot of fun stuff to do. Like they had like a messy challenge and different things like that. That was seamless. After the game was the big, like, oh no, this is really, really bad. Yeah, so the game gets over around, probably 11:30, 11:20-ish, somewhere around there. There's a madding crowd of people going towards this one area, and it just comes to an absolute standstill. And we saw thousands.
That's a nightmare.
It was horrible. Thousands of people just standing in this parking lot trying to bottleneck their way through this little tunnel to go over to where the buses were. And me and my dad were just standing there for probably 10 minutes, no movement whatsoever. I'm like, what's going on? And so we make our way out of the crowd and look, and there's a gate that people can't get through. And people are just stuck there like cattle. And so we had to go all the way around, probably about 150, 200 yards back to go through this gate. It took us, I'm not even kidding, over an hour to get probably 250 yards to go to get on one of these buses. It was the most unbelievably, it was organized in the sense of they had different lanes set up for people and where you needed to go. I could not tell you how many different people were getting in the wrong line and then hopping over the fence, and the FIFA officials were going over and tackling them, trying to be like, hey, you can't, it was just, it was unbelievable. There was one lady, she hopped over the fence and she's like, my line's over there. And they're like, listen, lady, we don't care. You can't be hopping fences. And she was like, I need to, and she was not a good person by any sense of the imagination. She was very much like, I'm the most important person here and I need to be in my line. Right. And they're like, look, we'll take you over there. So they took her over there, whatever. But that happened probably 20 different times. People just hopping fences, trying to cut in line, and very, very unorganized. It was hot, muggy, humid, and it was the game. I'll talk about the game too. I guess that's why we're talking about this. Right. The game was incredible, but getting back on the shuttle bus afterwards was kind of a nightmare. So
where did the shuttle take you? To P&L?
Graceway Church is in Raytown.
Okay, it's just one of the spots.
It was
to meet.
It was 2.5 miles away.
Yeah,
it was nothing.
But
it still took over an hour to get on the bus. We could see the tent. Right. We were in a line of sight. We could see the tent that we needed to be under. It took us an hour just to get up there. It was unbelievable. So that sucked, but everything else was incredible, right? The atmosphere was incredible. Everybody was super, super, super nice. Like I said, I was sitting right next to a nice gentleman from Tunisia and his wife, who was actually from Mexico, and they had just stayed in Kansas City because they were there for the Tunisia game.
That's so cool.
Really nice people. There were some Austrian fans in front of us, and it was probably the game or the match of the tournament so far,
Maybe,
right?
yeah.
Because it was a weird situation where, both teams were kind of wanting to lose. Now, something else happened, which essentially made it to where Austria would have not advanced if they would have lost. But the way that it was shaking out is that if they both end in a draw, Algeria would advance and take on Switzerland, and Austria would advance to take on Spain. Algeria was actually rooting for a draw, because if Algeria would have won, then Algeria would have advanced, but Austria would not have advanced, but then Algeria would have had to take on Spain, which you don't want to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
If you had an opportunity to take on Spain or Switzerland, like, you definitely want to do that. That's like, I'll equate it to like running up against Florida in the national tournament as opposed to like Texas A&M in the national tournament, right? That's kind of what I'll equate that to. So essentially, a lot of people were thinking like, hey, they might just screw around this entire time and just nobody scores, both of them advance, and it'll be okay, right?
But you got to see 6 goals.
Yes, so we got to see 6 goals. It was absolutely incredible. Algeria strikes first. Then you saw Austria go ahead, get one, tie it up at 1-1. Austria gets another goal almost immediately. All of a sudden, it's 2-1. You're thinking, oh no, this is terrible. Riyad Mahrez has a awesome goal about like 60-ish minutes left. It's tied up 2-2, and you saw Algeria just trying to waste time. They were kicking the ball around, not doing a whole heck of a lot because it was 2-2, and I think both teams were okay.
Yeah, couldn't afford a loss.
Yeah, right. You couldn't afford a loss. Algeria didn't want to win because they didn't want to go up against Spain, and Austria wanted to draw because they were just like, hey, we want to, we want to at least be
Advance,
in.
yeah.
So, they're like, whatever. But then 90 minutes happens. They put on 4 minutes of stoppage time. Again, Algeria is kind of messing around a little bit, waiting for a draw. 3 minutes and 20 seconds into stoppage time, Riyad Mahrez gets a breakaway, fires one into the back of the net. Everyone's going crazy, but then as everyone's celebrating, you can kind of see the realization of Algerian fans around me going like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Now if we win, we go and take on Spain.
Right.
So the way that it happens, the way that it works in soccer is if you're in an attack position, they'll let you go over the allotted stoppage time. We were at like 96 minutes. There was only supposed to be 4. They went 2 minutes over the allotted 4 minutes that they had given them. And Austria scores like the very last second.
Insane.
To go and get a draw. Austria advances. That actually knocked out Iran. So I think that they understood that, hey, we need to go. But it wasn't like Algeria didn't let them score, right? It wasn't one of those kind of like disgraces. But it's interesting, though, and I had heard about this. So apparently there was this thing back in the 80s called the Disgrace of Gihon, or Gihon, I believe is what it was called, where Algeria was able to advance if Austria or West Germany didn't end in a draw, right? So Austria was playing against West Germany. The only way Algeria didn't advance is if it ended in a draw. But if it ended in a draw, then both West Germany and Austria would advance. So what had happened is that I think both of them scored 1 goal very, very early. And for the rest of the game, Austria and West Germany just kicking the ball around, doing nothing because they were conspiring against Algeria. And so Algerian fans have been waiting for 40-plus years to get revenge on these guys. And they, certainly did it, but Austria kind of did it to themselves. You know what I mean? I think it would have been great if they would have knocked out Austria completely for the Disgrace of Gihon. Yeah. But instead, Austria gets to advance, and they get to take on Spain. Meanwhile, Algeria gets to take on Switzerland. And it's a much better situation because at the end of the game, it's actually funny. Austria scores that final goal with seconds left to go. Algerian fans
going
fire
crazy.
out of their seats. They're like, whoa, we don't have to play Spain. It's amazing. Right. Oh my God, no, now we get Switzerland. Like they screwed themselves.
What percentage of Algerian fans versus Austrian fans?
Ooh, I'd say probably, honestly, like 70-30.
Yeah.
Like it felt like a home game for Algeria. And now, granted, I saw a lot of people from Kansas, from Lawrence. Right. Like it wasn't all Algerian fans, but obviously Kansas City and Lawrence, they've kind of adopted Algeria as their own, where they're like, hey, this is our team. Like, we love these guys. Everybody's been super, super kind. And yeah, I was walking around, and there was a ton of people in Algeria, scarves and jerseys and shirts, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm from Johnson County, or oh, yeah, I'm from Lawrence. So yeah, it was fun to see. That was really, really cool. But yeah, the Algerians, by the way, they put up a banner. Shout out to Tyler Brewer for taking this picture, but they put a banner right behind the goal that said "Thank you, Lawrence." And it was really cool to see. Just kind of tipping their hat to the city of Lawrence for being such welcoming hosts here for the Algerian team. And like I said, they had a ton of fan support and a lot of people. Like I talked to a lot of people there who said, like, yeah, I mean, this is they've been so ingratiated in our community that they had to go to this game just to support Algerians. And it was a lot of fun, man. So, again, probably one of the best. I mean, like, touchdowns are cool, buzzer beaters are cool, but like the feeling of watching a World Cup goal, like in person, there's nothing like that ever. I mean, you fire out of your seat, throw both your hands up, you're high-fiving everybody, there's chants going on. I mean, just unbelievable. It just, like I said, it's probably the best sporting event I think I may have ever been to. So
cool that both Algeria and the USA advanced. And, when you look at this now kind of moving forward to the round of 32, which, I'm a fan of bigger brackets. So I love the whole 48 teams. Pool play, get down to a round of 32, and that's where we're at. Like we said yesterday, Canada advanced as the first team to go to the round of 16. But yeah, I mean, when you kind of zoom in, USA against Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's Wednesday at, I believe, 8 o'clock Eastern time, so 7 o'clock our time. And then on the other side of the bracket, as we are on an absolute collision course, USA and Algeria for the World Cup. Algeria and Switzerland, that's Thursday night at 10 p.m. So that's really cool. And again, like you said, they get Switzerland, who's a good team, but they're not viewed in the same light as Spain, who will take on Austria also on Thursday. I mean, you look at this from a USA perspective, and yeah, you feel great about your chances against Bosnia. And then after that, you get the winner of Belgium and Senegal. If USA is able to pick up 2 victories, which is doable, these are good teams they're facing. But then you're in the round of 8. Then you got to probably get past Spain if Spain advances. That, would lead to a different conversation maybe. But what a success it would be for the USA even getting to the round of 8. Yeah. And then on the flip side, Algeria, again, as we zoom in on them as well, they get Switzerland, and the winner of that will take on the winner of Colombia and Ghana, who are big stories of this cup in their own right. So really exciting.
But again, you like the odds against both of those, right?
Well,
where, as opposed to Austria.
Did what they had to do, beating Paraguay and Australia, and putting themselves in a really good position from a seeding standpoint in the 38. But yeah, this is another big week for the World Cup, and that sounds like a pretty sweet experience that you got to get over at Arrowhead.
Oh yeah,
and it's not the last game at Arrowhead either, so we'll get you up to date. Trying to get a special guest on later this week who has been at every game at Arrowhead so far, and I won't spoil that yet, but hopefully we can get that going and talk about the World Cup. And this is honestly a dream scenario for us and for everybody in the Lawrence community, because USA is doing awesome. Algeria, they survived losing to Argentina, the Messi hat trick game, beat Jordan. Then they play Austria to a draw, and now they get to advance also. So now we get another week of kind of cheering for our home country, but also this brother country that we've come to have in Algeria. So it's been an absolute blast, and we're going to continue breaking that down as the weeks go on. The final day of the World Cup is July 19th, so a lot of fun between now and then. Hey, after this, we're going to be joined by Nick Springer from the Kansas City Sports Network, get his take on a lot of things that are going on right now in the world of sports. Stick around a little bit later. We'll talk more Darryn Peterson. We'll have our Case of the Monday segment, plus some KU football talk a little bit later as well. That's all coming up on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
I'm Kenny Logan Jr., and you're watching KansasNation.com.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin. Jocelyn's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
$500 customer bonus on the 2026 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. $2,500 customer bonus on 2026 Tiguan models.
July sale at Family Leisure. Great deals store-wide. It's hot and you need a pool. This pool now $29.99, or this pool $39.99 installed. Hot tubs and swim spas priced to move. This spa only $49.99. Swim spas only $16.99. Sit in comfort with higher quality patio furniture with 4th of July specials like these. Load up summer essentials with the best chemicals, toys, and accessories. 4th of July sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card, a simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. Learn more about Jayhawk Checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. Jayhawkchecking.com. The proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas is Central Bank, member FDIC. Let's bring on Nick Springer, from the Kansas City Sports Network. Nick, thanks for coming in studio again, as you do every Monday. World Cup talk. We just we're discussing Dan's experience on Saturday over at Arrowhead, but how awesome is it? USA and Algeria both advancing to the round of 32, and Kansas City kind of getting an experience that they really haven't had before.
Yeah, it's been incredible, obviously, with what Lawrence has done for Algeria, and I love that their nickname is the Desert Foxes, by the way. I think that's so sick. So
Whoa, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they call themselves the Desert Foxes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sick. Yeah, it's been incredible. Obviously, Algerian fans have been amazing coming to Lawrence, and I think the love affair has been mutual on both parties. I think the people of Lawrence have completely embraced him. It's been a ton of fun, and obviously it kind of culminated in Saturday night's game at Arrowhead, where there was a ton of Algerian fans there. Obviously, I mean, Dan, you can attest to that. You were there.
Oh yeah.
I actually was at the Kansas City Fan Festival Saturday night during the game, and there was a lot of fans there too as well, which was a really cool experience. Yeah, I think it's been truly incredible. And you look at a lot of the numbers, like I've seen different stats of like viewership numbers, and I mean, Kansas City is pretty much at or near the top of all of those, despite the fact that people would consider Kansas City to be a small market. Clearly people here are very passionate about the U.S., about the World Cup, just in general, and really embracing it. You think about what the Netherlands did with their Orange Parade thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
awesome.
obviously for us here in Lawrence, the connections with Algeria, but just generally, I think it's been really pretty special to see what Kansas City has been able to offer to other countries. I saw a tweet earlier that said that there's, I think, 157 different countries. People from 157 different countries have come to the fan festival in Kansas City.
That's awesome.
I was there. I was there 2 weekends ago as well for when Ecuador was playing. And dude, there was like 10,000 Ecuador fans.
Oh, really?
Ecuador fans completely
great.
took over the entirety of like downtown Kansas City. It was crazy.
Man. That was a 0-0 draw too.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think they're playing Curacao.
Yeah.
So Ecuador fans were everywhere at the fan festival.
That's awesome.
There's been when Mexico's had games, there's been Mexican so it's just been really cool. And I think one of the things that I've thought about with the World Cup being in the U.S. is that I think it's allowed even people like even Americans to sort of reconnect with the cities that they live in. This is the strongest I've ever felt about Lawrence and Kansas City, and by an extension of that, being close to Lawrence, just because of the fact that you see people that have never been here before from all over the world come over, and they're passionate and they're excited, and they are experiencing, for some of them, it's for the first time, obviously, or Kansas City for the first time, and they love it, and it's like, man, this is a pretty cool place to be.
Yeah.
So it's been cool. And then obviously Algeria advanced, which was great as well. And they dodged Spain, which is pretty cool. So they're going to have a decent chance to advance too. So that's cool. U.S. is going to play on Wednesday against Bosnia, which they should win that. So that's good to have the U.S. keep advancing as well. So, yeah, man, it's been a heck of an experience over the past, whatever. When did this thing start? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And now we still have over 2 weeks. We still have almost 3 weeks left of this tournament, right? The final's not until, I don't think, the 19th of July. Mm-hmm. So there's still going to be, there's basically 3 games a day every day this week. There's going to be, more games. And so it's, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It certainly has been, man. And, we always talk about the summer and complain about the summer, how there's nothing going on. But then, like, we've gotten lucky with, you had the Olympics a couple years ago.
See, I take exception to that because there is one thing that happens every July.
The basketball tournament.
The basketball tournament?
Nope, even better.
The MLB All-Star.
Nope, even better than that.
Oh, God.
The Tour de France, baby. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Oui. Love me some Tour de France, baby. It's awesome. It's on every day for the entire of July. It's on in the mornings. You wake up, turn it on. It's great. That's got me through, like, the past, 5 summers. And honestly, okay, when I first, probably 6 years ago, I started watching it as a joke. I was like, oh, this is kind of stupid, these stupid idiots riding bikes.
Yeah.
And now I'm into it. Now I'm like, dude, this is sick.
That's
I know
crazy.
the teams, the guys. It's cool. It's fun. And
you have
dude,
the most
it's on every day in July.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It gets you through the entire month.
You
every
like
day.
all the weird sports. The one
Dude,
thing I do
if it's
remember about you that you don't like handball.
No, I don't
water
like
polo.
water polo.
Water
Yeah,
polo.
no.
That's right.
If it's competitive, I'll watch, except water polo. Water polo is where I draw the line.
Why?
I refuse to watch water polo.
That's what I'm saying. I like
I don't
water polo.
wanna, no, I'm not going to watch some people tread water.
It's
for
like
2
handball,
hours.
but
No, it's
you
stupid.
could also drown.
No, it's literally the dumbest sport of all time. I don't understand.
Added
It's ridiculous.
Tour de France.
I'm going to write.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
going to write a
you're
letter.
talking about a Tour de France.
I'm going to write a letter.
Tour de France
Hang on.
is
I'm going to write a letter to the Olympics. Tell them they should remove water polo as an Olympic sport. It's ridiculous.
If they're going to
Stupid.
remove,
I hate water polo.
You watch bicycling. You watch video games.
Yeah, dude, esports are sick. Esports are awesome. I love esports too.
Just play the video game.
Yeah, no, esports are cool. Yeah, Tour de France every summer gets me through July. It's great.
I cannot believe this.
Because, like you said, in July, there's nothing going on. Except literally every day, there's dudes riding bikes for 4 hours, and it's fun.
Yeah, that can't be fun. I remember I would watch highlights of it. They had a 30-second thing on SportsCenter growing up of the Tour de France. And even then, I'd be like,
no,
I'm going to switch it over to SpongeBob.
No, I'm into it now.
Good for
I'm
you.
into it.
You know what? Everybody's got their thing.
Every morning,
you know what?
Wake up and it's on. It's great.
You got your Tour de France. I've got my water polo.
I like esports too. Again, like I said, if it's competitive, if there is a competitive version of it, I will watch.
You know what?
Except water polo.
You should tune in on Sunday mornings to ESPN News. They always have Omega Ball and professional breakdancing and air guitar contests. Yeah. That's always fun to watch. I always like that. They do that on Sunday mornings.
I'll watch anything. I don't care.
It is
it's
great.
Competitive, I'm watching it.
One more question on the World Cup. If I were a gambling man, which I am, who's your dark horse to win it all? I guess who's the smart money to that? I mean, do you think the U.S. has what it takes?
I'm not gonna claim to be a soccer expert.
Sure.
I wouldn't say that I follow the sport.
Neither am I.
Particularly closely. So outside of the main teams, I'm not really sure.
Sure.
To be
all right.
honest. I don't. I mean,
the question is, should I put money on the U.S.?
Oh well, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I don't think the U.S. is going to win the whole tournament if that's what you're asking.
Sure.
But they have a very good chance against Bosnia to go to the round of 16, and at that point, who knows? I mean, they're obviously going to have the huge advantage in terms of playing on their home soil. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but so Canada actually played yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canada, their knockout games are not in Canada. They made them play in the U.S.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I actually
the U.S.
think
gets to play in U.S. Mexico gets to play in Mexico. They said Canada, nope, you're coming down to the States. You're gonna play here.
Wild.
You don't get Canadian home soil.
I think that's kind of stupid.
Maple syrup.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah, you were. He was in Canada. He was in Canada.
Were you really?
last week.
You were in Canada yesterday?
I was in Canada yesterday.
And then you got back here today.
Yeah.
Just for this segment.
For the World Cup.
Just for this segment.
Wow,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I'm heading back after you leave.
Yeah.
I'm leaving when you
That
leave.
is dedication.
Turn around 20 hours.
That's dedication to his craft right there.
Right.
Come back for one segment.
Yeah.
It's been a blast tracking the World Cup, and like you said, July 19th is going to be the final game of it, and we're hoping that it's a collision course of the Algerians and the Americans.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be great.
That would be insane.
Yeah. Which, by the way, so the Kansas City's gonna have a game in the round of 32. I think what Thursday? I think.
Is it Thursday or Friday? Is it the Ghana game?
Yeah, it's Ghana and Colombia.
Yeah.
And then they have a quarterfinal.
Let me check.
But
that
hey,
right
no
now.
more Portugal and Argentina in the quarterfinal. That dream is,
Yeah,
that dream
it is.
That was there was a sliver of hope where you're like, you could see Messi and Ronaldo in Kansas City. Like it would have been
the city probably would have burned down.
Oh, absolutely. It would have been.
So
it would have been
maybe
great.
this is for the best.
It is
maybe.
Friday.
Friday's Colombia and Ghana.
Yeah.
Imagine those
quarterfinal
ticket
game.
prices.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. No, I know. So what happened was when everyone thought it was a possibility, everybody bought all the tickets and the ticket prices went way up. But now that it's not a possibility, I'm guessing ticket prices are probably going down, actually.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Could be. We'll continue to track that. But yeah, USA plays on Wednesday, Algeria Thursday, and the Kansas City game's Friday. So a lot of fun with the World Cup.
Packed week.
Nick, what do you think about Darryn Peterson getting selected second overall to the Jazz? Was this a big shock to you? And what do you think of the fit?
It was not a shock, no. On our podcast, on the Payne podcast, we talked to Jeremy Woo of ESPN. Woo! Probably like, I guess maybe 3 weeks ago now. I don't remember when we had that conversation. And even at that time, I don't think he was fully ready to commit to saying that, like, it was going to be Demancey and Peterson 1-2, but, like, it definitely, kind of – he seemed like he felt that way. And that ended up being the case. Then there was the report that Darryn Peterson didn't work out with the Jazz because he thought he was going to go number one, and whatever. The point is, it was going to be one of those two guys, obviously, at that point. And the Wizards went with Demancey. That left the Jazz to take Darryn Peterson. So I think it's good for him. Obviously, honestly, the biggest thing that stood out to me about the whole process was Darryn Peterson gave what I thought were some very interesting quotes after he got drafted, talking about his appreciation for Kansas and his appreciation for his time at KU. And I think he even himself stated it was a great year.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else would have said that it was a great year when you talk to like Kansas fans. But clearly, despite the fact of the trials and tribulations that he dealt with over the course of his time at KU with, what he was dealing with, this, how serious it was, whatever, blah, 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 all that stuff. It seems like he personally enjoyed his time, right? He personally enjoyed being at Kansas. He enjoyed Lawrence. He enjoyed being here, and even though it didn't go how probably he would have hoped or how KU fans would have hoped, obviously, it seemed like he was still very appreciative of KU fans.
He said he would do it a million times over.
Right, which I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Like he did not have to say that. He did not have to, go that far in stating his appreciation for KU. So maybe he personally did feel that way, right? And I don't know if that will sway opinions of KU fans at all. The fact that, even though the season didn't go the way it went for him, that he still personally felt a very strong connection to KU in terms of his professional career. Because, I think there are a few blue bloods, mainly I guess probably like Duke and KU, I think are probably the only two ones that come to my mind right off the top of my head, is that where, fans of those schools will attach to and follow players at the professional level. You think about a guy like Joel Embiid. KU fans love Joel Embiid. Or guys that have success at the professional level. So I guess for me, I'd be curious is if Darryn Peterson ends up achieving that level of success, like if he ends up, being an NBA All-Star, MVP, in the future, MVP caliber player potentially, like will KU fans feel that same affinity for him that they have felt for previous KU players that have had similar successes at the professional level? Time will tell, I guess, on that front. I think the fit at Utah is fine. I mean, DP played with the ball in his hands all the time at KU. It might help him to not have to play with the ball in his hands as much in Utah. I don't know. And so,
well, if he would have gone to Washington, he would have.
Right.
I mean, he definitely wouldn't have had the ball in his hands.
Right. It would have
been
been Trae Young. Yeah. It would have been Trae Young. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'll be curious to follow his career. I'm not a huge NBA guy. I don't watch a lot of NBA during the regular season. I'm very much like in the playoffs I'll flip on a couple games here and there. I watch the finals, whatever. But
you got other things. You got to watch water polo.
I'm not watching water polo. No, I'd rather watch like cricket or something.
Fair.
No offense to cricket.
Cricket, it's crazy.
I told you I'd watch anything.
Yeah.
By the way, there was some. I don't know if you guys even saw this earlier today. There was some news. Andrew Wiggins is also re-signing with the Heat.
Yeah.
So
with a 3-year, $64 million.
So more if we're talking KU NBA connection, there's some of that happened.
Yeah. Well,
and obviously Trey White's going to be with the Heat as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of the Miami Heat, Trey White got signed to play in the Summer League. Now, granted, I mentioned this off air, and I mentioned this when I was talking about it too. Like, if you're a 6'7" wing trying to make a roster, the perfect situation is to go to Miami Heat because they just gave away the entire farm for Giannis. Yeah,
they don't have a team right now.
Makes sense for him. And then Melvin Council also got picked up by the New Orleans Pelicans too.
Yeah.
I mean, talk a little bit about those two guys. Maybe the realistic possibility for them to make an NBA roster. If you think they have what it takes.
Well, obviously KU fans know firsthand about Melvin Council's mentality. So for him, it's really just going to come down to his skill set. Can he perform at a high enough level to have an NBA team, take a chance for him to be playing, right? Because he obviously has the right mentality for it. He's a great.
Is there a particular animal that you would compare him to?
I was thinking about this actually. He does kind of remind me of a dog.
Oh, seriously?
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, just to be clear, not dog food, dog.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Course.
Yeah, of course.
You don't want to be.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah,
that's a very thoughtful, original.
So he's obviously got that part right. Like I think any NBA team, I think would probably love his mentality and his work ethic in the gym. That's apparent. He also played 80,000 minutes a game at KU, so he clearly has durability as well. And then with Trey White, I guess it would come. I think for me with Trey White, it would just come down to can he reasonably match what he did shooting wise at KU for the first 25 games of the season. Because Trey White could profile as a perfect 3-and-D type player.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's a really really solid defender. It's just a matter of can he become a legit perimeter shooter? Because prior to KU, he never shot above 33% in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Then for the first 25-ish games, he's shooting over 40%. And then obviously he cratered at the end of the season, which really really hurt KU in the NCAA tournament. But I think he still ended up. I still think he ended the year shooting 41% from three in total for KU. So if he does that, I think there's definitely a path for him to be on an NBA team.
Yeah, looking forward to tracking that this summer too. The summer league, which has been more and more interesting, just because those
summer
guys.
League, I'll maybe watch.
Yeah, I mean it's fun.
Juwan Harris will be playing. Hunter Dickinson
I might
will be
watch
playing.
summer league.
Flipping on some Jayhawks of old.
I don't know if it interferes with the Tour de France.
Right. Yeah, no, there's no way. Yeah,
but it's fine. We're fine.
God forbid, right? No, hey, something I know you're very passionate about are numbers.
I hate numbers.
How about
actually.
Tate Kenny getting 0 and Tyron Stokes getting 4 for jersey numbers?
Yeah.
That's two of the most iconic numbers in KU basketball history. I mean, we're talking Tom Robinson. We're talking Frank Mason, Devontae Graham, Nick Collison, Sharon Collins. You like that fit for him?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do like it. And hey, by the way, some early clips from the KU with Paul Mbia.
Oh,
he looks good.
My boy looks good.
A little backdoor pass to Kenny.
My boy looks good. I'm excited.
He does look good. He
Paul.
looks like he's moving quicker, and I'm
very excited about that.
We're pumped for that.
Yeah,
so
I did
we'll
see the numbers. Off the top of my head, there was one guy that I was like, I hate that number for him, but I don't remember who it was now. So
it seems like Atticus Richmond is going to be a fan favorite. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to be because he's
number 3.
He has been compared to Mitch Lightfoot already.
He's never going to play.
Mitch, I know he's not going to play, but he will. I think he will eventually play later in his career.
Right.
And he's got a little bit of Lightfoot in him. We'll have to wait and see. But
question for you, because there's two guys on this roster. There's two guys on this roster who this refers to.
I didn't get that joke.
That's an inside joke. Okay. I don't know if we can talk about it on air. There's two guys that this refers to, and this has been happening for the last 3 or 4 years. But I still hate it. The fact that you can get your jersey number over the number 5, where Corsario is still number 7. You have Keanu Dawes at number 8. You had Noah Shelby and Rylan Griffin wearing 6. I mean, is it just something that I just need to get over? Am I overreacting to?
No,
I don't like it.
I think you're missing the point. You're not supposed to go over 5 if you have a double-digit number.
Yeah, but you can.
No, I know you're not supposed to. You shouldn't wear
17,
37 or 38.
37 is
37 might be the
bad.
29.
That's got to be the worst.
Or,
46 is pretty
18.
bad.
61.
You can't wear any of those numbers.
It's like an offensive guard.
You shouldn't be wearing any of those numbers. But I don't have a problem with 6, 7, 8, 9. as like just the single number.
I don't like them at all. I don't know. I'm actually, this is the only thing I've ever agreed with you about ever is that I don't necerinally love it.
Seven is fine.
Like, you know what would look cleaner
6 is
than
fine.
7 on Cole Rosario? No disrespect to Cole, friend of the show. 2. How about 2 for Cole Rosario?
Well, like a 5?
Is anybody wearing 2?
Blyden's wearing 2.
Okay, so not 2.
Okay, well, there you go. You can't wear 2.
Can't wear 2. Fine. All right. Well, we'll divert from the numbers talk, but
I don't like it.
Yeah, 0 and 4. I like that for Kenny and Stokes because
6
those
through
are
9
iconic.
is fine, but you can't wear, like 16, 17, 18, 26. You can't wear any of that.
You know what's a really terrible? I think I brought this up during the season 2. 39.
39
awful.
awful.
Like, that it should be illegal.
Well, and like
that's like a third string safety number.
Zach Clements wore 41 one year, and like that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like
he
39 shots.
Wasn't he like 22 and then he went to 41?
He was 21 and then he went to 41.
Awful.
39 was
talk about
aura-less.
Yeah.
No aura.
I think he was 21 and then he was briefly not going to be on the team.
Right.
The year after. Somebody else swooped in, took 21.
So he was 21. He transferred. Well, he entered the portal.
Yeah.
Then he came back.
Yeah.
And then he was 41.
Anyway.
Zach Clements. That's right.
Any thoughts on KU football special teams? Special teams. We're breaking that down a little bit later. But special teams, of course, last year was huge with Money Marjan and Tate Nagy, true freshman, returning punts. Manny Henderson got special teams player of the week, had a couple touchdowns back there. And KU was more solid last year than they have been. Definitely more so the first 9 games than the final 3 games. But what do you make of the new group this year?
Well, Martin Connaughton, I think, is going to be pretty solid. He missed not very many kicks, I don't think, at Michigan State last year. I think he missed, 4 kicks?
Yeah, nothing.
He did miss an extra point, though. But I watched the video of him missing the extra point. It was a very windy day.
Okay.
So cut him some slack there, potentially. They've also got the Aussie kicker, or the Aussie punter that I'm blanking on the name of.
Yeah, Matthew Gill.
Matthew Gill, yep. He was a great guy to talk to. Had a great conversation with him, which is good. KU's clearly got the Australian punter pipeline locked down, I would say, at this point. When you look at what they've done in the past. When you talk about punt and kick returning, that's, I think, where the conversation gets most interesting because you mentioned Tate Nagy last year. Well, now you brought in Dylan Edwards, who you would assume would become the guy. I know, you turn on the film of his one attempted punt return last year in Ireland where he got hurt and muffed it and kind of derailed the whole thing. But he still is your most explosive player. You'd probably want him on punt and kick returns. So what does that, what kind of role does that make for Tate Nagy? So I think that's where I'm most interested is how does KU use Dylan Edwards basically on kick and punt returns? Do they use him? How do they use him? And then
if he's going to be your bell cow, do you even want him doing that?
He's not going to be a bell cow.
Well, it'll be a 1A, 1B kind of thing, I guess.
Okay.
Is he going to be Justin Willis?
Well, I don't think there's going to be a bell cow.
RBBC, 12 apiece.
Sure.
15 touches for Edwards, 12 for Willis.
You just gave me a stroke when you said that.
Running back by commission.
By committee.
Okay.
Or by committee.
Okay.
Yeah. Running back by committee.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, 1A, 1B.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what Dylan Edwards. So I'd have to look. I remember I had this number when I was working with the running back room, doing like a preview earlier this summer. Dylan Edwards in his career, I think has only had 20-plus touches in like less than 5 games, like in his entire career. Like when you go back and look at what he did at Colorado and then his 2 years at K-State, there was only like very few games where he had more than 20 carries or 20 touches, period.
Sure.
So he's not – and obviously he's not the biggest guy in the world, so he's not going to be that, right? Justin Willis is definitely going to be probably – if you're talking workload, he's going to be the guy that you're probably going to want to give the ball to a little bit more because of his size. But obviously with Dylan Edwards, you still want to be able to deploy him and get him the ball. So I don't know. That's and then my personal favorite player, before I was so rudely interrupted by whatever the hell you said, the RB, I don't even know what that was. My personal favorite player, Reno Monteforte. My guy, long snapper.
He is an interview. I'll say that.
He was good. We talked to him in April. You guys were there. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Yeah.
He was very insightful.
We do need to special request him a couple times with the law firm.
He's had an interesting football journey, with what he's done in his career up to this point, and he's a guy that knows his role and is fully bought in, and so I think that's really exciting, and he's great to talk to. So I think the biggest question for special teams is going to be the punt and kick return, whether or not they use Dylan Edwards. I'm going to go ahead and assume at this point that Martin Connaughton is probably going to be not as good as Marjan was.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting a huge drop-off there. and then never punt. So who cares about punts?
Right. Yeah.
That's always a good
never punt.
That's always a good plan.
Advice.
Yeah.
Never punt.
Nick, always appreciate you coming in, your time, your insights, and don't do anything I wouldn't do this next week, and we'll have you on soon.
Watch Tour de France, never punt, and go Algeria.
All right, those are your 3 things. All right, I got it.
3 things.
Nick Springer, Kansas City Sports Network Pay Heat podcast. Make sure you check that out. After this, talking a little Darryn Peterson to the Jazz in a little bit more detail. That's next on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
Hey, Kansas fans, Coach Bill Self here, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
$500 customer bonus on the 2026 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. $2,500 customer bonus on 2026 Tiguan models.
The grass is growing fast and the savings are growing even faster at Heinen. Dominate the season with this limited time offer on the all-star lineup of Ferris zero-turn mowers at Heinen Repair and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Get up to $1,000 instant rebate on a Ferris zero-turn mower. Flexible financing options available with approved credit. Offer ends June 30th. For details and big savings, see Heinen Repair in Valley Falls and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
With Heinen, there's always hope for your yard.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn, you want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
If you're talking trucks, you're talking Lewisburg Ford. With over 100 new F-150s on the lot, Lewisburg Ford is your truck headquarters. Right now, get up to $13,500 off MSRP on the new 2025 Ford F-150 XLT or 2.9% financing. Lewisburg Ford has been awarded the 2025 Ford President's Award. They are the #1 F-150 dealer in KC 9 years running, so you know they'll treat you right. Lewisburg Ford and LewisburgFord.com.
Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright back with you here, Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com. Thanks as well to everybody listening on ESPN Kansas City, watching live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Really appreciate all the likes, comments, subscriptions. Everything helps us out a lot. Nick Springer joins us every Monday. Check him out as well, the Kansas City Sports Network. Dan, I'm going to give my thoughts on Darryn Peterson going #2 to the Jazz.
Please
of course,
do.
Didn't have that opportunity last week, but initially I know that you really liked this fit. Why don't you refresh everybody on your thoughts there?
Yeah, so, I think the fit for him is a lot better because the Washington Wizards, they just extended Trae Young's like 4 years, $200 and some odd million, like an insane thing. So they're going to want the ball in Trae Young's hands a lot more. What the Wizards needed was a 6'9" wing, a guy who can score on the outside, while the Utah Jazz, they have a really nice front court with Jaren Jackson, they have Lauri Markkanen. Kente George is a really nice player on the outside, but they don't have like a true point guard. So Darryn, the fit makes more sense. Now, I understand the aspect of when you're drafting this high, you shouldn't draft on fit. You should draft on pure talent evaluation. But when the talent at the top, and I'm just going to include the 2 guys because Cam Boozer's his own thing. But when the talent at the top, when you have A.J. DeBonsa, when you have Darryn Peterson, they're both right there. Darren's a more talented player, but AJ's right there underneath him and has a different kind of skill set that the Wizards needed as opposed to what the Utah Jazz needed, where like they didn't really need an A.J. DeBonsa. They could have used an A.J. DeBonsa, that would have been fine, but they needed like a true point guard, whereas the Wizards absolutely needed an A.J. DeBonsa because they already had a point guard with Trae Young. So I love this fit. I think that he's going to have the ball in his hands for 37 minutes of the game, every single game. Hopefully he's able to stay healthy. But yeah, I absolutely love the fit, and I'm interested to know your thoughts in terms of maybe some ceiling and floor stuff and what you think Darren's going to do in the league.
I do think, first off, kind of going off what you said, that he will be the primary point guard. He will have the ball in his hands the majority of the time. Jazz have a really nice roster. People probably don't want to hear that. the Jazz last year went 22-60. That's not very good.
No.
I get that, but there were so many NBA teams that had terrible records because there was the tanking and all that. The Jazz acquired Jaren Jackson Jr., who is a fantastic NBA player. Yeah. I mean, this is a dude who can stretch it. He's going to be a 3-and-D type player, but also he can put it down. He can get to the basket. He got injured, what was it, like immediately after the trade?
Yeah.
Which wasn't that big of a deal because the Jazz were going nowhere fast, but still, he is a fantastic player. You look at what Jaren Jackson Jr. did, 19.5 points per game, nearly 6 rebounds. He shot 36% from 3, 48% from the field. And like I said, he's a very good defensive player as well. Then you have Lauri Markkanen, who isn't going to average 27 points a game this upcoming season because Peterson's going to be on the team, but he averaged 27 points a game. Shout out to Pekka Markkanen, by the way, former Jayhawk great, his dad. 2 assists per game for Lauri.
Hold on, time out. What?
Pekka Markkanen.
How did I not know this?
I don't know.
Was it in the 80s?
I don't know. Probably. Sounds right. Yes, 80s.
P-E-K-A.
P-E-K-K-A. I'll let you have a moment here to.
This is great. That's news to me.
Pekka Markkanen.
Are you kidding me?
I want to say he only played 1 year with KU.
89-90. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. That's
so
wild.
There you go. Late 80s, the 89-90 team. Pekka Markkanen.
What?
Yeah. So Lauri, who's a all-star caliber player, and again, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is as well. 27-7 for Markkanen. Also shot 36% from 3. Okay defender as well, but somebody who's going to be able to stretch it. I really like those 2 players. Ace Bailey, a guy who really came on the back half of the season as well, is on this roster. You mentioned George, who's kind of your wing 3-ball shooter. Plus, they've got other nice pieces. And Isaiah Collier, he would move in, of course, to a backup point guard role. They've got Bryce Sensabaugh, who's a solid depth piece as well. Cody Williams is a young guy out of Colorado who's going to be good. And then Yusuf Nurkic, who's a veteran, but he is a solid player as well, who averaged a double-double last year. I really like this roster, and that's not even counting Sviatoslav Mikhailu. I think this is a team that should immediately, with the addition of Peterson, be hovering around 500 right away. Yeah. 41-41. And 500 in the NBA means you're probably going to the playoffs, or you're at least in the play-in conversation.
Yeah.
That would be an improvement of 19 games, but I think Peterson is the perfect fit for him. And again, the writing was on the wall that the Wizards were going to take Debonsa when they signed Trae Young to that big deal. I think this is a great fit for DP. I think that, again, he's going to have an opportunity. Yeah, there's going to be some growing pains, but when you have legitimate NBA talent in Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen, this is a team that's going to make a lot of noise, and they're not going to be far away from competing, I think, in a big way, which I know it's the Utah Jazz. They've been terrible our entire life, going back to Stockton and Malone. But George is 22, Williams is 21, Collier's 21, Jackson's 26, Bailey's 19, Markkanen is more of a veteran at 29. They have Walker Kessler as well. He's only 24.
Yeah.
And then Peterson's coming in at 19. I really like this fit, and I really like this team. I'll be a Jazz fan, I think, for the foreseeable future because I really like it. Yeah.
Now, the purple doesn't deter you?
Purple does not deter.
Okay.
Only because I really like the
blue
logo. I like how it looks.
Okay, I like the fact that they've totally pivoted away from those black and yellow jerseys. Do you remember that? That was like the the Udoka Azubuike era where it just it was just absolutely disgusting, and it was in weird Arial font and didn't have a logo anywhere, and now they've they took essentially the vintage logo but kind of modernized it to where now they have the best jerseys, I think, in the NBA. And that's not even biased. I thought that probably even before I knew that they were going to be taking DP. So I love this. And again, you talk about all the young talent that they have, right? With Ace Bailey, with Jaren Jackson, you go all the way down. Cody Williams is nice. Walker Kessler. I mean, all these guys are so young. Keontae George is only 22, right? But Darren, to me, is going to be I think that he's the piece that they were missing, right? I think that's not crazy to say that he was exactly what they needed at exactly the right time, where you have all of your pieces together. You have a very good front court. You have Jaren Jackson, who's going to be healthy this upcoming year. Now, my question to you is and I'm deciding to be optimistic about this, just because of the fact that I think it was just this weird, kind of one-off, kind of strange thing. do you think that Darryn is going to be able to maintain his health throughout the entirety? I guess I'll set a line. I'll set a line right now. Over under 65 games played for Darryn Peterson this year.
Over.
You think so? I think
Isn't that
I think
the
it's
number two to qualify for?
Yes, that's
awards?
why I kind of was around there.
Yeah, no, I think he'll play. Everything we've heard is that he has been doing better. And remember, the last month and a half of the season, he pretty much played normal minutes every game.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's trending in the right direction. And hopefully that's the case because, again, this seems like a really fun Jazz team if the pieces all come together and guys are able to stay healthy. But, yeah, Peterson goes to the Jazz. And, of course, we'll probably expand a little bit later this week on the other Jayhawks who were added to NBA Summer League rosters, Melvin Council and Trey White, and cheer for them and wish the best for them. After this, though, it's going to be our Case of the Monday segment. We take you around the world of sports. That's next on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
Hi, my name is Augusto Mungarrieta from Kansas Baseball, and you're watching Kansas Nation.
$500 customer bonus on the 2026 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. $2,500 customer bonus on 2026 Tiguan models.
July sale at Family Leisure. Great deals store-wide. It's hot and you need a pool. This pool, now $29.99. Or this pool, $39.99 installed. Hot tubs and swim spas priced to move. This spa, only $49.99. Swim spas, only $16.99. Sit in comfort with higher quality patio furniture with 4th of July specials like these. Load up summer essentials with the best chemicals, toys, and accessories. 4th of July sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Custom Lawn and Landscape, partners of us here at Kansas Nation. Spring and summer are made for backyard fun. If you're like me and you've got kids outside running through the grass, family cookouts lasting past sunset, make sure you take care of your lawn because nothing ruins time outside faster than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. That's why families trust Custom Lawn and Landscape to keep their lawns beautiful and protected all season long. They've got a home insect control program that helps defend your yard from pesky bugs so your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. Right now, when you sign up for the season, your first application is absolutely free.
What?
Again, first application absolutely free. A simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer. Custom Lawn and Landscape, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Case of the Mondays segment. Who's kicking us off today, Dan?
Yeah, I wanted to start off here. This is one of the most insane stories. I mean, this is stuff you'll hear about for like years to come. So apparently, somebody in the Los Angeles area donated what seemed to be a old piece of, Lakers uniform. It was actually a shooting shirt. On the back of it, it said Chamberlain, right? Not entirely sure if it was like a replica or whatever it may be. They wound up donating a warm-up jacket that was worn by Wilt Chamberlain back in I got to find
quite
out.
the donation.
The 1972, 1973. So this is actually the first year that the Los Angeles Lakers won an NBA Finals while they were in Los Angeles. They won a couple when they were the Minnesota Lakers.
Minneapolis.
But this is the first one, or Minneapolis Lakers. But this is from the year where the Los Angeles Lakers won their first ever NBA Finals. This is Wilt Chamberlain's actual game.
That's insane.
Or I guess like pre-game worn warm-up. Some guy just donated it to Goodwill. His name is Eric Peterson. Eric Peterson just, he's like, I've had this old thing forever. I'm just going to give it to Goodwill. Somebody bought it for $3. And they said, this is actually really cool, and this could potentially be something. I'm going to go ahead and go check it out. So they took it to Sotheby's, which is like the big, auction thing. Turns out that this garment that was donated to Goodwill and bought for $3 has a estimated worth of $150,000 to $250,000.
How did this person get a hold of it?
I do not know. I don't know the story behind it. Apparently, they had Sotheby's like picture match it and do everything. The thrifts. Mosier PDX. His name is Quinn. Owns a vintage shop, and he was just looking around, scrounging through Goodwill. I actually know a guy who owns a vintage shop down in Emporia. His name's Merrick. Shout out to Mackside Vintage. Check it out. He does this. He just goes to Goodwills across Kansas and just tries to find all these different kinds of things. This guy just was like, oh, hey, this is a cool thing. It's, old, and it looks like it's from the 70s and it has Chamberlain on the back. Hell, I'll buy it for that. I mean, it's $3.
Yeah.
Might as well buy it. And he's just found an absolute gold mine in Goodwill. I mean, that's so amazing.
That's crazy.
They did find out who, again, this guy's name is Eric Peterson. However much that this Quinn guy sells this jersey for, he's got to give Eric Peterson some kind of kickback.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
Eric Peterson, how do you not have any sort of thumbprint
That is crazy.
on what you are possibly going to be donating there?
It's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, that would be really nice if he's able to, give him that cut. But
yeah, I think he needs to give him some goodwill, if you will.
God, man.
I mean, come on, that's just that's a heartbreak. Imagine if you had a shirt that you just had forever, and you're like, screw it, I'll just.
But you can't possibly do that if you don't know the name Chamberlain, even if you're not a sports fan.
Maybe he thought it was maybe he just thought it was something that somebody made or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, I got this from my dad or whatever it may be. He just didn't want it anymore.
I don't know, man. That's
crazy.
I don't think he deserves any.
You don't think he deserves anything?
No, I don't.
Not even $1,000.
Don't give it away.
$1,000. You only deserves $1,000. $50.
Deserves? No. Would it be nice for the guy to give him some? Sure.
Yeah, give him $50. You don't think so? All right, fair enough. Maybe not. But yeah, that's just how unbelievable. And I guess this goes back to Jerry West said in an interview a while ago that back in the day, at the end of the season, they would just throw their jerseys away. They're just who wants these?
Right.
Who cares? There's just a regular jersey. Because sports memorabilia wasn't a big thing, I guess, back then. But now it's obviously a massive enterprise, and you have guys spending $3 million on trading cards and game-worn jerseys and all this different kind of stuff. But back then, Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain and all these guys are like, screw it. I'll just.
How awesome would that be to walk into Goodwill and find something like that?
Oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable.
And you would just know you're sitting on a gold mine.
I know, man.
It'll go on the higher end of that.
I would imagine.
Yeah. 150 to 250, it's gonna go.
It's probably gonna be around 250. That's insane. Yeah. That's absolutely insane. Let's pull together some money and get that here in the Kansas Nation studio. Yeah. Anybody out there have an extra $250,000?
To add.
That's what I'm saying.
No doubt about that.
That would be kind of nice. Man, poor Eric Peterson.
Bummer.
Poor guy. Hey, case of Mondays for Brendan Sorsby. Even the Canadians, they do not want him. So according to Adam Schefter, the CFL will not allow Brendan Sorsby to play in the CFL. It says this is.
Is this permanent?
I'm reading into it right now. I don't know if it's permanent or not. CFL said Friday morning that the quarterback will not be allowed to join any of its teams for the upcoming season. It said upholding the integrity of the league and ensuring fair competition are paramount to the CFL. The allegations involving Brendan Sorsby are serious and concerning. At this time, the CFL will not register a contract for him, and no team will be permitted to add him to its negotiation list. So as of right now, probably. Right?
Yeah.
I would say that there's no way.
It does say at this time, so it could. But yeah, bummer for him, man. He can't. I would say he can't.
It's
catch
not
a break,
bummer
but
for
it
him.
seems
No,
like
it's
a bummer for him. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. But
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. He deserves it, but it's also he brought it on him. So
what's the play here for Sorsby?
I think that he needs to start working at an enterprise rent-a-car, or like he needs to get his damn degree, because that guy. If there's been one thing that I've been consistent about, is a couple of things. Number one, in a world where there's no rules, there needs to be one rule, and you cannot gamble on your own team.
Right.
That should be a rule. And number two, the second thing that I have been very consistent on is that Brendan Sorsby should never throw a football again. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving Day and he's out there with his family. He should never be able to throw a football again, at least in a competitive aspect, right? He should never play organized football ever again. I don't care if it's the UFL or the indoor league or wherever. That should be the rule. If you gamble on your own team, you should never be allowed to play football again. I don't like that the NFL and the CFL are kind of dancing around it like, oh, we'll give him, he's not allowed to enter the supplemental draft this year. The CFL, oh, well, as of right now, he's not. No. You put your foot down. Give him a lifetime ban for all professional football. He should never be allowed to play.
Completely asinine.
What do you mean that's completely asinine?
At no point did he gamble on games that he appeared in.
He gambled on Indiana games while he was on the roster.
So what's your stance on Pete Rose then? He never bet against the Reds.
I think he should. I think that's fine. I think he didn't. I think he did bet against the Reds.
He bet on the Reds. He bet on his own team. He never. There was nothing that he did to affect how the games were resulted.
I don't care. I think that should be the rule.
From what I've seen with Sorsby, he didn't bet on any games. I'm not saying he should be welcome with open arms or anything like that, but a permanent ban, he's not allowed to ever play again. Jesus, man.
Well, okay, he gambled over $90,000 during his time as a college football player on professional sports, on college sports, and on Indiana football while he was there. I understand he didn't appear in any of those games, but he also had some insider information probably.
I get that,
right?
And there should be, yes, and to an extent there should be.
You think?
I don't think
he goes to rehab.
I don't think completely ruining the kid's life is an answer.
That should be the rule. They need to make an example out of him. I'm not saying ruin his life. He's made plenty of money in college, right? He's fine. He's not going to ruin his life. But I think that there's no reason. Also, like, he spent many, many years, 4 or 5 years, just gambling at will. He knew the rules, and he broke the rules. And he broke the laws, too. It's not even the fact that it's the NCAA rules. It's the fact that gambling was not legal in Indiana at the time. So he was going through bookies.
So
right? So he broke laws.
My only thing with you is you saying that he needs to be permanently banned from any football-related activity for the rest of his life.
You think 3 days in a rehab facility is going to fix him?
At no point did I say that.
I don't think that. I think it's too big of a risk for any NFL team to take. It's too much of a stain on him too. Imagine if he came to the Kansas City Chiefs. Would you be ecstatic about that? No. I don't want Brendan Sorsby in a Chiefs jersey.
There are elements to this that relate to him being.
I think Jameson Williams should be out of the league.
Yeah, but he's not.
I know.
Going to be, but you're saying Brendan Sorsby should be. So what? Do you have something personal against Sorsby to where he needs to be the one that they're making a mistake out of?
They need to make an example out of him and nip this in the bud. Again, there are no rules.
Is it different than Malik Beasley or Terry Rozier?
Terry Rozier was actually throwing games. Terry Rozier should be out of the NBA
in terms of they're done in the NBA. Sorsby, he's done in the NCAA. Are you wanting Rozier and Beasley to not have a chance to play basketball in any other league because they were banned from the league that they were actually gambling?
They broke the rule. They broke the highest
and because of
rule
that,
in the land.
And because of that, they have been banned, just like Sorsby can't play in the NCAA.
Jonte Porter's never allowed to play in the NBA again.
Okay, in the NBA. But can he play professional basketball elsewhere?
It's too much of a risk.
A risk for who?
For whatever team picks him up. I guess I don't know if you can. You probably can somewhere. You can gamble on indoor football or whatever.
I don't know. I think that's too far with Sorsby. But anyway, yes, the CFL, they're saying as of right now, I bet he eventually plays football. Within the next couple of years, he'll be brought on by somebody. We'll see what goes with that. But yeah, he's been a staple on Case of the Mondays.
Yes, he certainly has. Hey, it's a Case of the Mondays for LeJay Jones. Where did he actually play? Oh, he played for Florida State. So he got picked up by the Miami Heat, or no, the Golden State Warriors, excuse me. And there was a very funny interaction that happened with him and Jimmy Butler. So LeJay Jones comes over from Florida State, and he calls Jimmy Butler, FaceTimes him, and says, "Hey, man, I want the number 10." Now, insane thing to do.
Right.
Like, you call up Jimmy Butler.
He's the 54th pick in the NBA draft. Not even going to make the roster, probably.
Yeah. You call up Jimmy Butler and say, "Hey, actually, I want number 10." Jimmy Butler says, "No." He says, "You want my number? You can afford it." He's like, "Well," he said, "I'll take out a loan." Jimmy Butler, this is what he says. Jimmy Butler says, "Zero shot. You can wear 0-1 or something. Say it's your number backwards." You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to give him the 10. Jimmy Butler says, "I will give you the number 10 for $25 million.
Yeah. I don't think LeJay Jones can. I don't think his NIL is going to cover that.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
What was your
bummer.
Because you played baseball back in the day. You played a year back. What was your number?
My number in basketball was 22. Clean number, man.
Nice. Good
so
number.
clean.
That's a good basketball number.
Yeah.
Wiggins.
I don't remember. I don't remember the other sports as well. Like when I was playing like middle school football, I was a tight end. I was in the 80s somewhere.
Sure.
I don't know. But yeah, baseball I also don't remember really. But I remember basketball was 22 was the number. I probably still have my 22 jerseys.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I do recall because when I was in high school, I had the same number for football and basketball all 4 years. So starting from my freshman year to my senior year, I was number 2 in football, and I was number 15 in basketball. I was number 15
Solid
because
numbers.
Yeah,
2 in football is I wouldn't have pegged you for that.
I love number 2. Well, you got to remember I was much smaller than I was, and I played corner and I played wide receiver.
Right.
Starting out, and then I transitioned to running back. But 2, I mean, any kind of single-digit number is a solid number. 15 I picked because Mario Chalmers.
Yeah.
That was in basketball. But that was because somebody else had already had 2 in basketball. And then when I got to college, I really wanted the number 2. But there was a couple of guys ahead of me who were like seniors who had the number 2. And so I was like, that's fine. And they just threw me the number 46.
Awful. Yeah.
Awful.
Is that what you wore?
I was 46 for 2 years. And then 2 years after that, I actually got moved to 45.
Why? Somebody wanted 46?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I like 45 better. Because it's a round, it's divisible by 5. Like, it was okay. But I just never was able to get the 2 back.
So next time I swing by Ladson Field at Schumacher Park, will I see a 46 or a 45?
I would imagine they've had them retired by now.
Yeah.
That goes hand in hand with them building the statue of me, of course. So yeah, but I do remember because it is weird, not being able to wear the jersey number that you have always worn.
Yeah.
It's
weird.
Odd. When I put on that 46, you know how I felt? Awful. When I put on the 45, I felt awful.
You're like,
it was terrible. I didn't like the numbers. I don't know. It's again, if I would have been wearing number 2, who knows? Maybe I would have been the 3rd string tight end.
True.
You never know.
Could have been,
You never know.
A lot of great tight ends were number 2. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Nick Lofton's future children are on here. Poor guy. Taste of the Mondays for Nick Lofton. The Royals, I talked about this earlier, but they lost 22-1 and then walk off 2-1. I mean, talk about kicking you while you're down.
Yeah.
You lose 22-1 and then you get walked off on the next day. They did win yesterday to salvage Game 3 against the White Sox, but a microcosm of season, man. Daniel Lynch the 4th.
Daniel Lynch fired one
about 5 feet away, man. What are you doing?
This is what do they always say in WWE? The midsection. That's what they always say. Oh, he takes a shot to the midsection.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Nick Lofton. A little blooper. Daniel Lynch grabs one. Nick Lofton playing third base, fires one right into the where he should have been wearing his cup. By the way, I did like the score bug. They were celebrating the 1983 White Sox World Series. This is on
it was cool.
The Chicago broadcast.
I always love those retro nights. They don't do them enough.
Yeah, they did a retro score bug, which I thought was really fun. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, just a microcosm. Like watching the Royals this year just feels like you're constantly getting punched in your midsection,
your groin area. What do you offer in that scenario as an apology to your teammate if you're Daniel Lynch the 4th?
I think you don't.
A nice steak dinner?
I think you immediately say
a bag of ice.
I think you immediately say I'm sorry, and then you don't talk to him for the next 3 innings.
6 months.
Okay, yeah. Or 6 months. Oh, I guess it was bottom of the ninth, right?
I mean, he had to leave the game. That's how bad it was. Like, you see this all the time in baseball where, a guy gets clipped where the sun don't shine and, he
Why don't people wear cups anymore?
I think some of them do.
Like, I think catchers
I think you have to. I mean, you'd be idiotic not to.
That's
for this exact reason.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a guy throwing 98 miles an hour 5 feet away, which is on Daniel Lynch. I mean, it's just terrible. But
not a good throw.
Anyway.
That's tough.
What else we got
I
here?
I think you immediately go up to him and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." And then you don't talk. There has to be a grace period of about 30 minutes
6
where
months.
you don't. He didn't want to see you. You know damn well Nick Lofton did not want to see Daniel Lynch's face.
I'm fairly certain it was at least 30 minutes because he was back in the.
That's what I'm saying. But then you
receiving treatment.
You wait until everyone is. You get back into the locker room, get all undressed, and then you go up to him afterwards and you say, "Hey man, here's a bag of frozen peas. Please don't be mad at me."
Yeah.
I think that's what you have to do. I mean, obviously it wasn't intentional. It sucks.
I think you gotta. I don't know. Maybe buy him a boat or something, depending on your salary.
Yeah. Speaking of nut shots, by the way, I'm excited for this. The new Jackass movie's coming out, or it's out right now. I haven't seen it yet. It looks fun. It's gonna be the last one. Were you ever a big Jackass guy?
I dabbled occasionally. It's fun.
Oh god, what is great. Hey, case of the Mondays for retirement homes in the San Francisco area. It's not really a case of Mondays for them. I just wanted to make an old joke. Apparently, per Shamstrania, let's see, was it Kevin
Legion
O'Connor?
Hoops.
Was it Kevin O'Connor? Yeah, Kevin O'Connor was the first one to kind of report on this. The Wizards apparently are attempting to trade, Warriors. Oh my gosh, sorry. The Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, are attempting to trade with the Wizards for Anthony Davis, and they're also not re-signing Draymond Green in order to try to lure LeBron James to the San Francisco area and play for the Golden State Warriors. Your thoughts on the oldest super team of all time?
It would be. Hey, Bron and Steph in the Olympics, fire.
So much fun.
Fire, man.
So
I
much
love
fun.
it. I mean, even Bron haters can't hate that.
I like the fact. This would be kind of fun. This would be like a. How do I want to? It would almost be like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson teaming up. Like in 1992 or
Jimmy
whatever.
Butler would be the young buck, and what is he, like 31?
Right. Yeah. No, the Golden State Warriors.
36.
Well, they have pods, right?
He's 36.
They have Braden Pajinski pods.
Yeah, totally. Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah. Who else?
I'm saying of the big four that they would be forming.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, they had a Pat. Pat. No. The white boy who. Pat Spencer.
Yeah.
Pat Spencer. Yeah. Cam Spencer's brother played lacrosse.
Speaking of bad jersey numbers, by the way,
61. Horrible.
Awful.
Just horrible. But that guy's got a strap on him. Can't play a lick of defense. That'd be fun, though. I think that'd be fun to see, and I'll set Anthony Davis aside, but obviously, AD and LeBron are our boys, and they want to come back together, and this is a kind of their bait to try to get them. But in the twilight of their years, right, they're not the same players that they used to be, but they're still a lot of fun, and they're still pretty good. They're still putting up 20-plus at night. Seeing Steph and LeBron in the same jersey would just be a thing of beauty.
You think?
I think it would be.
I don't know.
I like it. I do, because you had that rivalry for so long, right? Whenever he was on the Cavs, and it was always like Steph and LeBron, and Steph was winning all these championships, and then LeBron had the 3-1 comeback with the Cavaliers.
I think it would be a good storyline. I know people feel how they do, but if you have Steph, Hemi, AD, and LeBron, I mean, it'd be kind of fun. That team going up against the Spurs, who are all 23 years old.
Yeah. Although, do you think Draymond Green feels a little left out?
Yeah, because he declined the option. Didn't he?
So they're going to be having a party over there, a
he's
little
just as
retirement
old
party.
as those guys, man.
I know.
Yeah, crazy.
But Draymond Green, wants to play with LeBron. I mean, they're boys.
Yeah,
Remember that picture of them at a wedding where Draymond Green and LeBron
I think
were
Lance
dancing?
Stevenson might be available as well. All right, one more here. Case of Mondays.
Yeah, one more here. Just this is Case of Mondays for Sean, because Big 12 Media Days coming up in early July. It's sponsored by Monster, and you will not be going.
Won't be going unless something comes about. Maybe I could find my way there.
So Henry, or Shreyas, or Nick, or anybody who goes,
are all those
Matt
guys
Tatum,
going? If all those guys are going, I'm gonna be mad.
I bet it's gonna be like I bet Tate,
Greeny will go,
and Greeny will go. Swain will probably go. If you're going, make sure to bring back a couple of freebie monsters for Sean, because because every year the Big 12 tournament or not the Big 12 tournament, Big 12 Media Days rolls around, and you get like just a goodie bag of all. We got this hat.
I know, and then I lost mine at the Big 12 tournament, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah, because the Big 12 Media Days for basketball is sponsored by New Era, so we got hats. Now it's sponsored by Monster, and I know when you saw this, and when you also saw that we weren't going,
yes,
you're probably
very
upset.
Maybe something will come about, and we'll get sent out there.
We'll
but no, I don't have any funds.
810 sending Jack Johnson out there. They're going to be kind of our correspondents.
Nice.
Out there. But also, speaking of Big 12 Media Days, it came out who is going to be going to Big 12 Media Days. We didn't talk about this last week. Calvin Clements, Cam Pickett, Trey Lathan, Blake Harold, and Leroy Harris are all going to be going to Big 12 Media Days representing Kansas. I like this group of guys. I really do. I mean, you have Leroy Harris, who's probably going to be the highest sought-after guy in terms of the NFL. Cam Pickett, love that. He's going to be the veteran guy at wide receiver. Calvin Clements, really cool for him. Blake Harold appeared kind of out of nowhere last year. And then you have Trey Lathan, too. No quarterbacks. So,
yeah, that's a rarity. But you know what?
Indication.
No indication.
I have a question for you. Maybe we can talk about this, but maybe just a real quick thing. Your thoughts on Cole Ballard being ranked 70 in EA College Football, and then Isaiah Marshall and Chase Jenkins both being at 74?
Yeah, BS. It's ridiculous.
Okay. You think Cole Ballard should be ahead of them?
I mean, I think Cole Ballard being 70 is crazy. I mean, I understand he hasn't played a lot of football, but when he's played, he's done well.
Neither has Isaiah
70
Marshall.
Is insane. Yeah, I don't know. I get it.
Too.
Luckily,
So
they can update
does
the
that
rosters.
tell you? I mean, are you?
That doesn't tell me anything.
Are you? No, I'm saying, are you tipping your hand? Or do you think Cole Ballard's gonna be a starter?
I still don't know. I can't decide.
I'm
And this
leaning
has been
towards
the
him.
most that I don't make like a firm decision ever. I cannot decide who I think is going to start.
Sure. Who
We'll
do
see.
you want
At
to
some
start?
point, I will. I'll make a prediction down the line.
Who do you want to start?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
We have a coin. Do you want to flip it?
It might get to that. If we get closer to the Long Island game, it might get to that. But I got some time to decide on my official who I think that's
sure.
going to be. But yeah, it's going to be fun here tracking KU football. And we are going to talk more KU football after this to close down Rock Chalk Sports Positional Group Breakdown. We asked Nick a little bit about this earlier, but we're talking special teams. Rock Chalk Sports rolls on after this. ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com.
Hey, this is Sasha Khan, and you're watching Kansas.
Cash incentive. Get into a 2026 Tundra for 2.99 APR and a $1,000 cash incentive. 2026 Toyota Camry Hybrids 3.99 APR and 4Runner models 4.99 APR.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
We've got Mahindra, the #1 selling farm tractor in the world.
While you're making your chores list, put a new Mahindra tractor at the top of it. For a limited time at Heinen Repair and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Get 0% financing for 84 months, plus cash back on select new Mahindra tractors with approved credit. Don't miss out. Offer ends June 30th. For details, see Heinen Repair south of Valley Falls and Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment in Lawrence.
With Heinen, there's always hope for your yard.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Joslin's Jewelry, partners of us here at Kansas Nation. Gary Joslin and the entire Joslin family, proud to have earned the trust of 3 generations of customers. Joslin's customers go back to Joslin's again and again because of the fantastic customer service. They also refer their family and friends because of that. The jeweler that you will recommend to your family and friends, that is the reputation they've got over at Joslin's. Again, great prices as well. A lot of times customers will go in and they're quoted $400 to fix a ring elsewhere. Joslin's can fix that same ring for $200. That's just an example of the many things that they bring to the table over there. 95th and Antioch, right in front of the big grocery store, Joslin's Jewelry.
For the best that's yet to come.
You will recommend them to your friends and family. All right, let's close things down today talking KU football positional group. It is special teams, of course. Later this week, we've got a lot of content. We're going to dive deeper into the basketball tournament, NBA draft reaction a week later, talk a little more Trey White, Melvin Council. We're going to talk EA player rankings, as I haven't had a chance to dive into that quite yet after last week. But right now, let's close down our KU football positional group breakdown with special teams, Daniel.
Yeah, I'll start off with the actual specialists. So as of right now, kind of the way that it's shaping up, you have Martin Connington as your starting kicker, presumably, because he transfers over from Michigan State and had some really nice stats last year. 75% on field goals, went 12 for 16, but was rock solid, sort of in the middle tier. Went 0 for 1 on 40 plus, and then 1 for 3 on 50 plus. His longest was actually a 50-yarder. So you like to see that. Only missed 1 extra point this past year, 27 for 28. But yeah, a really nice kicker. It's going to be big shoes to fill in terms of that. Also got Matthew Gill coming over from Australia. Again, kind of tapping that pipeline of Aussie kickers. And then, wanted to talk about just some of the return guys. So as of right now, really the 3 guys I'm looking at are Dylan Edwards, Tate Nagy, and Keaton Quebeca. Keaton Quebeca, for what it's worth, he had 3 attempted punt returns last year for 18 yards, nothing too crazy. He also had 1 kickoff return for 28 yards, which is pretty good if you're a kickoff guy. But again, we'll see if he takes maybe a larger role in terms of that. Dylan Edwards has the best return stats out of really anybody. 2 years ago at K-State, he had 10 attempts at a punt return for 140 yards. He also had a touchdown for 71 yards. Really impressive stuff by Dylan Edwards. Also 16 kickoff return attempts for 298 yards. Again, really, really cool stuff. Last year, only had 1 attempt at a punt return and 0 attempts at a kickoff return. Didn't play a lot just because due to injuries. And then you have Tate Nagy, who's coming back. 17 attempts at a punt return last year for 116 yards. And you remember how feisty he was, laterally quick he was, and you don't see that out of a freshman, that kind of cockiness, arrogance that you see of a guy who's coming in there as a true freshman and making guys miss. It was a lot of fun to see. Also 3 attempts at a kickoff return for 57 yards, at a 34-yarder in there as well. So those are really the returners you have coming back who are going to be sort of the threats, because you're losing Emmanuel Henderson.
Yeah, where do you think Edwards slides in terms of, load share, I guess, for special teams? Because the first thing that Kotelnicki talked about regarding the addition of Edwards was the fact that he can affect the game in a lot of different ways. And you got to think Coach O is going to want to tap into his talent as well. So do you see him as a punt returner? Do you see him as a kick returner? Do you see him only back there 20% of the time, or is he going to be a guy that is heavily relied upon?
I can see him being the primary kick guy. I can see Tate Nagy, planting his flag and hey, I'm the punt return guy. I was there last year. This is my job, right? So I think Tate Nagy is going to be that number 1 guy in terms of the punt return. In terms of kick return, I can see it being Keaton Quebeca and Dylan Edwards. And if Dylan Edwards is playing a lot, getting a lot of snaps, then you can kind of rotate in Tate Nagy if you ever need him to. But Dylan Edwards has such tremendous straight line speed that it's so hard to keep him off the field in that aspect. Now, again, you want to keep him healthy. So then that comes of in terms of playing time, in terms of, keeping him healthy, keeping him off the field, those kinds of things. We'll see how that kind of shakes out. But I like this return group.
Coming up on 2 months before the kickoff of Kansas and Long Island. I can't wait for it. Hey, big shout out to Elijah Schmidt, assisted today by Trey Myers and Tyler Brewer behind the camera. For Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow from 4 to 6. Thanks to everybody who has been watching live, Facebook, live on YouTube, live on KansasNation.com, and listening on ESPN Kansas City. Rock Chalk Sports. We'll catch you tomorrow. See you later.
Yo, this is Paul Pierce, and you're watching
$3,500 customer bonus on the 2026 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. $2,500 customer bonus on 2026 Tiguan models.
Fourth of July sale at Family Leisure. Great deals store-wide. It's hot and you need a pool. This pool, now $29.99. Or this pool, $39.99 installed. Hot tubs and swim spas priced to move. This spa, only $49.99. Swim spas, only $16.99. Sit in comfort with higher quality patio furniture with 4th of July specials like these. Load up summer essentials with the best chemicals, toys, and accessories. 4th of July sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Hello, it's Mark Whitlow from Office Products Alliance. OPA is not just your local office products connection. We have expanded our offerings to network cabling installation, security cameras, door access, and IT services. We all need to keep pace with new technologies. You can trust a Kansas City company that has been your partner for 32 years. Check us out at opakc.com. Supporting local businesses and our community is